So what it wanted us to do today, we've got those 3 poems again, kind of just like last time.
Oh, yeah.
Supposed to discuss the metaphor and simile in these poems. God's grandeur, Fern Hill, and neutral tones.
Okay.
I can put them on the screen like I did before if that's better.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get back to it. Screen share. Share screen. Share. Then go to this. Can you see that?
Yep. I can.
Looks good.
Is it only when I talk though? Let's do this.
I think so. It's only when you talk.
Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Sweet. So now you can see it. Should we just start off with the first poem?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. I can read that one.
Okay.
It says, the world is charged with the grandeur of God. It will flame out like shining from shook foil. It gathers to a greatness like the ooze of oil, crushed. Why do men then now not wreck his rod? Generations have trod, have trod, have trod. All is seared with trade, bleared, smeared with toil. And wears man's smudge and shares man's smell, the soil is bare now, nor can foot feel being shot. And for all this, nature is never spent. There lives the dearest freshness deep down things. And though the last lights of the black west went, O morning, at the brown brink eastward springs, because the Holy Ghost over the bent world broods with warm breast and with bright wings. So it says we're supposed to discuss what similes and metaphors are there in these poems, and how are they important to the poems of the message?
Okay.
So those poems are in the syllabus, or they're inside Canvas, or are they part of the book?
Yeah, they're on Canvas.
Gotcha. So they're not part of the book that we need to read.
No.
Gotcha, because I just bought the book.
Yeah, I don't think they're in the book.
Oh.
They're like linked to the assignment.
Gotcha.
Let's see.
Oh, sweet. Need to not do that. So it's kind of a tough poem, I think.
Yeah. I thought all of them were pretty tough for the most part.
Yeah, I like the last one, but the first 2 were pretty rough.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if he's using chiasmus.
Yeah. So what are some metaphors and similes that we see in this poem?
The third line, or actually the second line.
The second line, yeah.
Third. Yeah. Has one. So it starts off pretty fast.
I mean, the third one too. And then...
Yeah. So it's talking about the world that's flaming out, like shining from shook foil.
Yeah. I think so. It gathers to greatness like the use of oil.
I'm sorry, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be smart or anything, but this guy was...
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. It almost has a feel to it. Like you think about the ooze of oil, that's like a slow ooze for the most part. Like almost gelatinous, almost not crazy, but a little bit. It's got like a
Like
thickness to it.
like the viscosity of it is
Yeah.
thicker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's saying that that's how it gathers to greatness. Maybe not necessarily quickly, but slowly, almost more heavy.
Yeah. Where all this alive.
So what is it trying to say when they have tried? They have not listened. They have just.
To me, it seems more like horses trod. So it's like generations have, like horses, they. Maybe I'm getting trod mixed up with trot.
What is the meaning of grandeur? Because like grandeur of God, maybe that will help us understand what it's trying to talk.
The bigness, the magnificence of God.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So essentially, the world inherits the greatness of God. I'm assuming charged is either inherited, or if it's not inherited, then it's we
Like an
must.
electric charge.
Yeah, we must then live up to his greatness.
Oh yeah, I got you.
And then when it says will flame out, is it kind of like an apostasy? Like people don't really listen to the precepts of God?
Yeah.
Maybe it's saying the grandeur of God will flame out, like it's gonna spread.
Okay, so it's not gonna die out, it's gonna spread
Yeah,
like fire.
that's kind of what I saw when I. That's what it feels more like to me.
That makes sense.
Okay.
And shining itself seems more like a spreading of the gospel rather than an apostasy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So why would the ooze of oil be compared to a great gathering? Or
Gathers to
that assembles greatly?
Maybe it's like, because you know how I guess liquid or like oil, it like attracts together. Like it doesn't just like, I don't know. So maybe like
Oh,
just
it's oily. like
yeah,
it sticks to your hand.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Gathers to
And
greatness like the ooze of oil.
and is it ooze of oil crushed, or does it end a sentence there? And crushed is just one word by itself.
Ooze of oil crushed. That's a good question. There isn't like a comma or anything in crushed. Just
Yeah, because
starts right there.
I'm looking at all the other lines, and so essentially when you crush oil, right, it's kind of like a mill. Like you crush olives. Is that what they mean by it?
So in the religious sense, that could almost be a reference to the atonement, right?
Like the Gethsemane, or I mean, olives are used and oil is used in many ways, right?
Yeah.
It provides light, and it provides lubrication, and it can be used as medicine and as seasoning, fuel, all those things.
So you think it's more like a productive crushing than deproductive, or like destroying crushing in this sense?
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess, like when you crush oil, right? You have all these olives, different sizes, different colors. But when it's crushed, it's just this homogeneous matter, this liquid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oops.
And then the next one, why do men now not rack his rod? What do you guys think he's asking? Like, wreck? What is the meaning of wreck in this sense? Like
I have no idea, honestly.
is it to break?
Yeah.
Is it to take upon?
Wreck his rod.
Wreck to break would have a W in front of it, yeah.
But
Yeah, I would think it'd be break something.
I mean, can we use Google? Is this cheating? Like if you go to Google and ask for the definition of a word, or
No, I don't think so. I think that's more researching, yeah. Pay heed to something.
Yeah, so why don't they follow his rod? So why don't they follow his path like Moses used to guide the Jews in the desert and he had a rod? That kind of thing?
Yeah, sounds like it. Could be the iron rod.
Yeah. And then trod. How would you guys take trod?
Could
I almost
be
picture that as
walker.
being like a walk or a trek or something.
Okay. So generations have walked and walked and walked.
Almost
Or maybe,
gives an image of like wandering and almost
okay,
being
so they
lost.
wandered.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next sentence.
And all is seared with trade, bleared, smeared with toil.
What is toil?
It's like tumult almost.
Okay, like turbulence and revolt and
Yeah. Kind of goes back to the confusion thing. Confusion on top of the wandering.
mm-hmm.
So back to the whole metaphors and similes thing, though. Is there really like where's the next metaphor or simile?
You have the parable of the talents. I don't know. You give talents to people, and some people don't do anything with them. Some people do. Do you guys know a better parable?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Should we go over the next?
Yeah, we can probably do that. Next question.
Okay. Yeah.
So how
I'll
are
read it.
objects? Okay.
Oh.
No, it's all good.
How do the objects to which objects are compared make us feel about those objects?
They are all old and archaic and useless this day.
Yeah.
No one walks around with a rod.
I guess the only important ones, oil still.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of already talked about it a little bit.
Yeah. All right, well, yeah, we can do the next question again. How does making those comparisons contribute to the poem's tone and message about the issue or theme it addresses?
It doesn't help at all. It just makes things worse.
Yeah.
It's almost
I'm
as
like
if
still confused with the theme or like tone.
Yeah, I
it's
don't know.
almost as if you needed to be under the influence of something in order for this to make sense, because this is crazy.
Yeah, the comparisons, they make it harder to understand.
But yeah. We can maybe even move over to the next poems to see if we can.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. It's a long one.
Oh yeah, that's a long one.
So you want me to read that one too?
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
It says, now, as I was young and easy under the apple boughs. How do you say that?
I guess both, yeah.
Boughs. About the lilting house, and happy as the grass was green, the night above the dingles starry. Time let me hail and climb, golden in the heydays of his eyes, and honored among wagons, I was prince of the apple towns. And once below a time, I lordly had the trees and leaves trail with daisies and barley down the rivers of the windfall light. And I was green and carefree, famous among the barns, about the happy yard, and singing as the farm was home. And the sun that is young once only, time let me play and be, golden in the mercy of his means. In the golden I was huntsman and herdsman. The calves sang to my horn, the foxes on the hills barked clear and cold, and the Sabbath rang slowly in the pebbles of the holy streams. All the sun long it was running. It was lovely, the hay fields high as the house, the tunes from the chimneys. It was air and playing lovely and watery, and fire green as grass, and nightly under the simple stars. As I rode to sleep, the owls were bearing the farm away. All the moon long I heard, blessed among the stables, the nightjars flying with the ricks, and the horses flashing into the dark. And then to awake, and the farm, like a wanderer, white with dew, come back, the cock on his shoulder. It was all shining, it was Adam and maiden. The sky gathered again, and the sun grew round that very day. So it must have been after the birth of the simple light, in the first spinning place, the spellbound horses walking warm out of the whinnying green stable, onto the fields of praise, and honored among foxes and pheasants by the by the gay house, under the new made clouds, and happy as the heart was long, in the sun, born over and over, I ran my heedless ways, my wishes raced through the house high hay, and nothing I cared at my sky blue trades, that time allows in all his tuneful turning, so few and such morning songs, before the children green and golden follow him out of grace. Nothing I cared in the lamb white days that time would take me up to the swallow thronged loft by the shadow of my hand, and the moon that is always rising, nor that riding to sleep I should hear him fly with the high fields, and wake to the farm forever fled from the childless land. Oh, as I was young and easy in the mercy of his means, time held me green and dying, though I sang in my chains like the sea. So we probably don't want to take all the time to find or to take apart every sentence, but
Yeah.
just really quickly over the similes and metaphors.
Yeah. I guess we can just each pick an obvious one that we saw in it, I guess, and then move on.
Okay.
And honored among wagons, I was prince of the apple towns. So he's using something that's very simplistic and probably normal around his time, or the place that he lived. And maybe he was really good at it, and as such, he received honor, and he was a prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Kind of shows his imagination and stuff.
Kind of He's trying to make himself bigger than he is. He's just a simple man.
So another one that I kind of saw was the way it talked about the sun and the moon. So right here it talks about the sun that is young once only. So it kind of personifies the sun a little bit, makes it like the sun's a person. But then later it talks about how how the sun's born in the sun, born over and over, which almost I feel like it contradicts itself because the sun is like born over and over again. It starts at the beginning, dies at the end, if that makes sense, but kind of
So kind
personal.
of every morning the sun is young, and every night the sun is old.
Yeah.
Mhm. Let's see. I didn't notice. Was there much similes in there, or is this one pretty like metaphorical?
There's a simile at the very bottom. Singing
Um.
like chains like the sea.
Oh yeah. Okay, gotcha.
But
Singing my tunes like the sea.
yeah.
Yeah. How does it? Let's see.
So go to the next question.
Yeah.
How do the objects to which objects are compared make us feel about those objects? I feel like that sentence kind of makes me laugh a little bit. That's too many objects in one sentence. Objects about objects make us feel about those objects.
It's very materialistic.
Yeah. So that first one that you were talking about, him being compared to a prince, kind of just makes us feel imaginative, I think. Like a child again. It shows how he's feeling as a child. Like he's imagining his days when he's like younger there, as how he's like a prince among the wagons. That's the way I saw it.
All right.
So essentially, the professor is trying to get us to understand how to read and decipher and appreciate his poems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really be able to dissect. That's pretty hard.
Yeah. Because if it said like in which period this poem was made, kind of in which country, assuming it's English, it's probably English, is Dylan Thomas. Maybe like if we knew the context of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So the sun being compared to like a person too can almost what effect does that have to the poem?
Say that again.
Like the sun being metaphorically compared to like a person growing and dying and stuff. Does that have any effect to the poem?
Maybe humans' nature of making mistakes over and over again.
Yeah.
Kind of rising and falling, day after day.
They can be brave someday and then they die.
Yeah. It kind of adds to like time going by, I feel like.
True.
In our lives.
Yeah, that's true. He's like talking about the passage of time.
Especially at the very end where time's holding him green and dying. So he sings in his chains like the sea.
Mhm. Was this guy a prisoner?
He's a prisoner to time, I think is what it's supposed to be saying. Aren't we all?
I guess.
It's kind of another metaphor, I think. Is his chains. Okay. Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we already kind of talk about that? The tone that it gives?
Oh, the tone.
This one is more hopeful than the other one. The other one seems very hopeless.
Yeah, I think so too.
This one, he realizes, I am kind of a prisoner of time, but he seems to make the best of it.
Yeah, it's a lot more happy and uses like more happy. The other one's kind of like dark, I feel like, in a way, but
Yeah, for sure. At the beginning, he's being compared to a prince. I feel like that kind of encompasses the whole tone that's supposed to be giving. Okay, let's move on to the next poem.
okay.
Neutral Tones by Thomas Hardy.
Okay. I can read that one if you guys want.
Sweet.
We stood by a pond that winter day, and the sun was white as though chidden of God, and a few leaves lay on the starving sod. They had fallen from an ash and were gray. Your eyes on me were as eyes that rove over tedious riddles of years ago, and some words played between us to and fro, on which lost the more by our love. The smile on your mouth was the deadest thing, alive enough to have strength to die, and a grim bitterness swept thereby like an ominous bird wing. Since then, keen lessons that love deceives and rings with wrong have shaped to me your face and the god cursed sun in a tree, and a pond edged with grayish leaves. So
So this one seems a little bit more dismal again, kind of like the first one.
yeah.
I feel like it's a little bit savage. uh, the smile on your mouth was the deadest thing, alive enough to have strength to die. That line's kind
Oh
of crazy.
yeah.
I feel like.
Um Kind of seems like the person that he was with was kind of being like fake, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a bitter goodbye almost.
Oh yeah.
But what
Maybe it was a
metaphor?
breakup.
Yeah, it could have been. So one simile, the obvious one would be like an ominous bird a wing.
Mm-hmm.
A grin of bitterness swept thereby like an ominous bird a wing.
Yeah, there's another one at the top. I think it was like the second line. As though and the sun was white as though chidden of God. What does chidden mean?
That's a good question. Spelled definition wrong.
Is this children?
Rebuke.
Oh no. Rebuke.
Yep. Scolded or rebuked.
Chastised. Reprimanded. Reproved.
So as though like almost like smitten of God or like chastised of God. So the sun was white as though chastised of God or chidden of God. What does that change to the poem? How does that change the mood or the tone?
I don't think he's saying that God is mad per se. Maybe, I don't know. Everything that has to do with God in the scriptures usually has to do with light, right? A light over my head, a light descended upon me, an angel, whatever. So he was just making, a metaphor between the strength of the light and the strength of God.
You think about God though too, and everything heavenly or godly is like really white,
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's supposed to add to the whiteness of the sun right now. Like God made sure that it was really white.
Like a heavenly white.
Yeah, could add to the color. Trying to look for other metaphors or similes than just that one. We can go to that one, like an ominous bird of wing. So like it flew by really fast.
Yeah.
So like maybe the grin wasn't there for very long. It was there and then it's gone.
And then in the last paragraph, he kind of realizes that, love is not always good, maybe. And he has been deceived and he's sad.
Yeah. I'm not seeing a ton of metaphors or similes. Just those two, I feel like.
Most of them, like, they have columns or semicolons, so you got to read like two lines. So, so he has been shaped by the deceit of love.
Right here.
Yeah. And once again, he uses the sun with God.
Yeah. The image it gives, like we talked about earlier in the in the class, this gives like a really good example of image, kind of just with the grayish leaves. Everything's like gray and white and kind of dreary.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I think that's good. I think we answered the questions about metaphors and similes. How does making these contribute to the poem's tone and message? Yeah, I think we're good.
Cool. So what do we do from now?
So one of us has got to write up a paper. 1 to 1.5 minutes.
Is it my turn? How do you guys do this?
Yeah, we're supposed to take turns and all, but where you're just barely getting back into things, you probably got a lot to catch up on. I don't know, what'd be best.
It's up to you guys.
Michaela, did you do the last one?
Oh, I can hear her. Can you hear her?
No, I can't hear anything she's saying. She's probably been talking this whole time and we haven't like heard.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, you're back.
Oh, okay. Oh shoot. Yeah. Let's see. I think I did the last one.
You did the last one?
Yeah, just a while ago, 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah. So Alexandra, if you want me, I can do it. It's not that big a deal.
Okay, and I'll do the next one.
Yeah, that would work.
Cool. And then once you do it, you send to everyone. You send directly to the teacher. How does it work?
I asked the teacher, and she said if you turn it in to her directly, then it counts for the whole group. Like the other group doesn't. The other people in the group don't have to turn anything in.
Gotcha.
But if you want a copy of it, I can send it over.
Yeah, if from now on we could, even though just one person is making it, if we could send to everyone. I don't know if there's any changes that you guys want to make or before we submit or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Cool. All right.
And,
Sound good?
Sounds
and
good.
how frequently we meet?
It's been at least like once a week, sometimes twice a week.
So it's usually one assignment per week, and then we just meet to talk about that assignment. Gotcha.
Yeah, something like that.
Cool. Well, let me know if you guys need anything or if I can do anything to help.
Sweet, sounds good.
We're also talking
Hey.
about if we wanted to get ahead on discussions and like do them early. So,
Okay.
So yeah.
When is the deadline for this one?
Today.
Tonight.
Okay, so you wish we could have done it like maybe over the weekend or something?
Yeah. Yeah, we could do those earlier. Kind of get ahead. Finish
Gotcha.
early. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Okay, just let me know.
Sweet.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. We'll see you
Thank you
guys.
so much. Take care.
Yep, thanks. See you around.